The sky over Bellmere shimmered gold as the sun dipped below the hills, casting a soft glow over the cobblestone streets. Market stalls bustled with last-minute buyers, laughter echoed in alleyways, and lanterns flickered to life in windows of ivy-covered cottages. But high on the hill, in the shadow of Castle Aurelian, lived a girl named Elara who wished for more. Elara was 16, with calloused hands and dreams woven from silk. She lived with her aunt, a seamstress known for her steady hands and sharp tongue. Elara helped stitch gowns for noblewomen, dresses lined with sapphires and threaded with gold. As her fingers bled into velvet, she'd wonder what it felt like to wear such magnificence, to be seen and admired. "Someday," she whispered to the moon, "I'll wear the dress of kings and never go unnoticed again." Her aunt would scoff at such words. "Beauty fades, girl. Thread it too tightly and it tears." But Elara didn't believe her. She believed in glamour, in status, in being seen. Then, one autumn morning, as leaves crisped and crunched underfoot, a royal messenger arrived. By royal decree, the palace announced a grand masquerade ball. The crown prince, Alric, was to choose a bride, not from noble bloodlines alone, but from among the common folk as well. All women of age were invited, provided they wore their finest. The one who dazzled most would receive the dress of kings, a legendary gown said to be blessed by queens of old, radiant, powerful, and worth more than a kingdom. Elara's heart roared. She had to win it, but her aunt refused to help. "Foolishness," she spat. "You want silk and gold? Stitch your own future." So Elara worked in secret, by candlelight, by starlight, using scraps from discarded gowns and thread she'd hidden over the years. She sewed for weeks, pouring her soul into every stitch. She wove a story into the fabric, of longing, of dreams, of fire beneath ash. But no matter how beautifully it shimmered, it wasn't the dress of kings. 3 nights before the ball, Elara wandered into the woods, tears hot on her cheeks. She followed a trail of silver leaves she swore hadn't been there before. The trees grew silent. Even the wind seemed to pause. That's when she saw her. A woman cloaked in shadow and moonlight stood by a willow tree. Her skin glowed like pearl, her eyes like obsidian. "I know what you seek," the woman said, voice soft as moss. "The dress of kings is not stitched by hands, but by hearts that ache." Elara's breath caught. "You have it?" The woman smiled. "Would you wear a crown of thorns to claim a rose? The dress is yours, if you dare pay the price." Elara hesitated. "What price?" "A piece of what makes you you." The wind stirred. Elara thought of her dull life, the laughter of the nobles, the way people looked through her like glass. She clenched her fists. "I'll pay it." The woman's eyes shimmered. She reached into the darkness and drew out the dress. It was unlike anything Elara had ever seen. Black as a raven's wing, yet threaded with stars. It shifted with light, pulsed with ancient power. When she touched it, warmth spread through her veins, like fire and honey and rain. She didn't ask what part of her she had lost. The night of the ball arrived. Elara entered the palace not as a seamstress's niece, but as a vision. Gasps followed her like petals in the wind. Nobles turned. The prince's eyes locked on her. She was beauty incarnate, walking dreams in living silk. All night she danced, floating like music. She laughed, she twirled, she reveled in every stolen gaze. But something gnawed inside her. She didn't feel real. When she tried to recall her mother's lullabies, they vanished. When a servant tripped and she reached to help, her hand paused, cold, uncertain. Her laughter echoed, but it wasn't hers. It was borrowed, woven. By the final waltz, she stood with Prince Alric beneath the chandelier of 1,000 candles. "You are exquisite," he whispered, But who are you?" Elara opened her mouth and paused. She didn't know. The woman in the mirror was flawless, yes. But was she kind? Was she brave? Was she Elara? In her silence, the candles flickered, and one by one extinguished. A whisper swept through the ballroom. The dress of kings began to unravel. First the stars faded, then the gold dimmed. The silk turned to ash in threads, and standing beneath the crumbling light, Elara was bare, not in clothes, but in truth. The crowd gasped, but not with scorn. They saw her eyes now, not enchanted, but raw. They saw the hands that bore scars of creation. They saw the girl who had dared to want more, and Prince Alric stepped forward. "You wore a dream," he said gently, "but I see the truth now. You are more than the dress." He offered her his hand, not as a prince to a princess, but as a person to another. Elara took it, heart thundering. Later she found the shadowed woman waiting by the willow tree. "You lied," Elara said. "You said I'd have the dress of kings." The woman smiled, sad and wise. "You did, but only for a moment, for kings and queens are not crowned by silk, child. They are crowned by knowing who they are." Elara looked up at the stars. She didn't need gold, or sapphires, or the gaze of 1,000 strangers. She had her hands, her fire, her truth, and that was beautiful.